Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, Vlogmas Day 10, I am starting my series of unpopular opinions. And as I say at the beginning of every controversial video, you are welcome to disagree with me, but you are not welcome to be disrespectful. Today we are talking about how you do not hate capitalism. In fact, you love it. You have no boundaries. It's funny how we love to hate capitalism until Amazon delivers our latest impulse buy in 24 hours or less. Many people who say they despise capitalism really do so not necessarily because of its principles, but really because they feel trapped by the demands. And I'll give it to you as someone who used to work in corporate, someone who was trapped by the very capitalism that people say that they hate. Yeah, often our hatred is rooted in the fact that we have poor time management, weak boundaries, and we lack self-awareness. And I'll just add that we are also a bunch of people pleasers. According to the internet, the definition of capitalism is a system driven by free markets, innovation, and individual opportunity. It's the same system that gives us Netflix, the smartphone that you're probably watching or listening to this video on, and your oat milk lattes. Yes, even though they're $9. While some of us criticize capitalism for exploitation, we simultaneously enjoy its benefits like convenient online shopping, advanced healthcare, or global connectivity. I will say that I personally enjoy capitalism because it allows me to drive up the price of my business to whatever fits my needs at the end. And I think a lot of us really just hate feeling enslaved to work or this constant pull for productivity. And I used to feel that as well. But really, that was my fault for allocating my time poorly and also for not setting boundaries at work. We also spend tons and tons of hours scrolling on social media instead of resting or strategizing. And then we're wondering why we're so burnt out and tired. Well, some of that is a dopamine addiction. And so now we're feeling burnt out unless we're on our phones. And some of that is simply the fact that we bought into the lie that if we just do more instead of work smarter, if we just work harder, then we will get what we want and this system will pay us back. And I learned out that the hard way that it's not necessarily true. Many of us feel the pressure to overwork and we don't have the ability to say no. And I will say that this is a phantom fear. We have this phantom fear that we will be fired if we say no. There are many ways to say no without saying the words N-O or the letters N-O. And that really stems from like insecurities and also this need for external validation, not necessarily capitalism itself. I think a lot of people would not be talking about end-stage capitalism and this doesn't work if we, from the get-go, decided that we were going to work within our boundaries of 8 to 5, that we were not going to answer emails after 5 o'clock, that we were not going to work on the weekends. We wouldn't feel this. But some of us agree to extra shifts while resenting the system that requires them. You are allowed to say no. There is not one company that can legally fire you for working the hours that your contract states that you are to work. There's not one company that can legally fire you if you are doing all of your tasks, and I said legally, and then you turn off your computer on the weekends. There's not one company. A lot of us choose to do that. A lot of us choose to prioritize our manager's emotions or our coworkers' emotions over our own well-being, and then we blame capitalism for it. And I have another video coming on how we don't want to be responsible for our own emotions and our own work. But the reality is we have to learn how to say no. I'll never forget when I was working. So you guys, I was a teacher for 12 years and believe it or not, teaching is worse than any corporation you could ever work for because there is this unspoken expectation that you, especially as a single woman, will 100% dedicate your left arm, your right kidney, and your big toe to the students, no matter what time of day it is. And I will never forget, I had a assistant principal say to me, "No, I didn't see your email. I don't check my email after 5 o'clock. And I was shocked, but I was like, you know what? I kind of like that because in no other profession would you be expected or are you supposed to be expected to work ungodly hours all afternoon and not have a life outside of work. That is simply inhumane. But a lot of us fell for the trap of living the inhumane, hyper-capitalistic, worked hard for the money all day, all night, and we never really had to. We didn't have to. And a lot of you guys will find that you worked that way and you still felt empty and you still didn't get the promotion and you still didn't get the recognition. Or if you did get the recognition, people just abused your competency and made you work harder and did the work that they didn't want to do. Absolutely not, could not be me. And yes, a capitalistic society and the system rewards productivity. So those people who do not have boundaries often feel exploited and are exploited because they are the people who are willing to go above and beyond. And sometimes what we don't realize is there are people who are sliding by in this capitalist system and making it work for them instead of working for the capitalist system. Think about that woman who leaves her job at 4 o'clock because she has to go pick up her kids. And oh, she didn't answer her phone because she was having dinner. Or oh, her daughter was at a recital, so she couldn't pick up the phone. Or she didn't get back to you on your Slack channel because she was at a PTA meeting. There are people who are willing to work in this capitalist system and make it work for them. And then there are people who are fearful that if they do not do every single thing or volunteer for every single assignment, that they will not keep a job. And that is simply not true. Look around at your corporation and see how many people are doing the bare minimum and never being fired and never being questioned. Yet you're over here taking on all of the work and being Miss Sava coworker when you could also do your work, set boundaries, and go home. The reality is that capitalism offers some awesome tools, such as self-employment and passive income opportunities. The fact that we have the opportunity to be self-employed is a hallmark of capitalism that I would not trade for the world. As someone who is self-employed, as someone who owns her own corporation, I am taxed as a corporation, I run my own business, I am thankful for that opportunity. And I also understand the drawbacks of a capitalistic society. I have to point out, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that criticizing capitalism on a $1,000 smartphone built by a capitalist enterprise is the height of hypocrisy. Not to mention people who attend these protests fueled by capitalist goods like fast fashion and food delivery apps. So we love capitalism's luxuries, but we resent the demands of it. And we forget that those two are interconnected. The reality is that if we want to address this, we need to address the root problem. The root problem is not that capitalism exists. The root problem is that we lack time management. We have to learn how to prioritize our time and our tasks and focus on what truly matters. We really have to shift from being reactive to being proactive. We really have to learn how to plan. We have to really do some inner work and know how to say no. We have to set boundaries, practice assertiveness, and really reclaim autonomy that we say that we have, but we really do not. We give our jobs our autonomy, and then we complain when we don't have autonomy. We have to learn how to balance personal and professional commitments. Remember that overwork is often a choice. It is often not a mandate. We are often trying to prove something to other people and to ourselves, or fill, something in ourselves that could really be filled with meaningful connections, purposeful work, volunteering, and rest. Listen, capitalism is not going anywhere. So what we have to do is view capitalism not really as an oppressor, but as a tool that we can use wisely. Is it oppressive in some ways? 500%, but it's not going anywhere. And you guys know me. I am not one to sit up and complain about something if I can't change it. I'm going to learn how to make it work for me. That is my superpower. That is a superpower that my parents gave me. If you can't fix it, make it work for you. Balance gratitude for the benefits and advocate where it actually fails. Yes, capitalism fails in some areas. Advocate for reform in those areas, but also learn how to use it as a tool. You can acknowledge its flaws while appreciating its contributions. I think being a business owner has really helped me with this, because I could have easily gone on the train of capitalism sucks. It doesn't work for anybody. This system needs to be, overhaul it, make sure everybody gets the same amount of money. There should be no ability for entrepreneurship, price caps on everything. I will tell you guys, I was one of the first people in my area to do what I do. And I'm going to charge what I want because I'm very good at what I do. And I deserve the highest dollar for what I do. I do not regret that. I will never regret that. I will never ever advocate that I get paid less because y'all came into the market later. Absolutely not. But I also realized that personal accountability plays a significant role in me navigating this system. Even as an entrepreneur, I have gotten caught up in the capitalism game. Just work, pay, clients, make as much money as I can, and forgot to rest. I forgot to say no to people myself, so I know what this is like. Our resentment for this system will fade when we focus on what we can control, which is our time, our energy, and our mindset. We can use capitalism's opportunities to align with our personal goals and values. Have some entrepreneurship, be flexible, innovate. The hatred of capitalism often reflects frustration with personal habits rather than the system itself. And that's on 100. I said what I said. It often reflects frustration with our own personal habits. We have low self-esteem. We say, I gotta do this, or they won't like me, or we have low self-esteem. No one has gotten fired, legitimately, legally fired, for doing everything that they were supposed to do at their job and setting boundaries and saying, I will answer this email at 8:00 tomorrow morning. Hey guys, I won't be answering my emails after 5:00 today. I will get back to you at 8:00 when I wake up and I'm on the clock. Legally, that has not happened. Before blaming capitalism for our exhaustion, I think we should really ask ourselves, am I using this system or am I letting it use me? And truth be told, a lot of us are letting capitalism use us. But what I'm really grateful for is I've seen this wave of women particularly come to the realization that they were trying to prove themselves to their organization, to their company, to their corporation, only to find out that people really didn't care. People really didn't care. And what that means is, as long as you got your work done, people didn't care that you were, staying up until midnight and stressing about it. They didn't care. And they didn't care if you left at 3:00 and handled your business and then did some work later on in the day. They didn't care. But we place these superficial, artificial demands on ourselves and then blame capitalism for it. I will say it again. Does capitalism have its issues? 100%. Absolutely. But before we walk around saying, I hate capitalism, make sure you are not, in fact, somebody with weak boundaries who doesn't know their value. There is so much we can do just by setting boundaries, just by understanding our value, being respectful, and saying, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for this email. Or my favorite thing to do was set an automatic email. If anything comes in after 5:00, thank you for this email. I will get back to you at 8 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning when I'm back at my desk. Have a wonderful day. That's it. That's all you have to do. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget that you can disagree, but you cannot be disrespectful or I will block you. Have a wonderful day. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.